Hi everyone, it's Peter Schiff. It is Sunday morning, July 11th, 2010. And I'm happy to report that you guys are making a difference. You've answered the call and I'm impressed with the progress that we're making, but I still think we could do better. And in fact, I'm confident that we will. Here are the numbers. For Saturday, we had 417 individuals making calls. That's a huge jump from Friday. I know it's a weekend and people had a lot more free time, but that's fantastic. The goal is 1,000 people making calls every day. We're over 40% of the way there. I know we can get there. Now, the only, I guess, bit of bad news is that the average calls per person is 14. And I know we can do more than that. I think we should shoot for 25 calls minimum per person. If we could do that and we can have 1,000 people making calls, that's 25,000 calls per day. Now, the reason that the average is 14 calls per person and not 13 calls per person is because one individual, Dr. Frank Danchuri from Arizona, and this man is a doctor, so he's working. He made yesterday, all by himself, 651 calls. Incredible. He called all day long. 651 calls. On top of the calls he made yesterday, he did a total of 690 calls on the week. That means Dr. Frank Danchuri from Arizona is not only the winner of yesterday's contest, he is the winner of the first weekly contest. So congratulations, Frank. One hell of a job. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat that single-day record of 651 calls, but I put that challenge out there. If Dr. Danchuri can do it, somebody else can do 651 calls. Let's see if somebody can break that daily record, and let's see if obviously somebody can break his weekly record because he only dialed for 2 days, and this was a short week. We now have a full week through next Saturday to see who can break that record. I know you guys can do that. For the people who are making the calls, fantastic. Now, the reason I'm thinking that, it's only an average of 13 calls per person is my guess is maybe some of you are only making a few calls and you're getting frustrated because, somebody is rude or you're not getting through. You just got to keep on doing it. Trust me, it will get better. As a cold caller myself, the first few calls are always the most difficult. Don't let it get you down. We are making a difference. I got a lot of emails from people who are making these calls with a lot of positive feedback regarding the conversations that they had. One thing, a lot of people are telling me they're running into a lot more Simmons supporters than McMahon supporters. And they're not really sure how to handle Simmons. I mean, first of all, what you should say when someone tells you that they're supporting Simmons is, well, what do you think of Linda McMahon? And there's a good chance that they don't like Linda. And what you can bring up is, well, why don't you take a look at Peter Schiff? Because Rob Simmons has suspended his campaign, and if you don't like Linda McMahon, the best way to make sure that she doesn't get the nomination is to vote for Peter Schiff. And, what is it about Linda that you don't like? And, chances are it has to do with wrestling or the fact that she's trying to buy the election. So draw a contrast between Linda and myself. And remember, just because someone is a Simmons supporter, there's still a chance that he takes his name off the ballot. It probably won't happen, but throw that out there. Get people to think it might happen and get them to look into Peter Schiff as a potential second choice just in case they can't vote for their first choice, Rob Simmons. Anyway, hopefully those of you who are making calls, tell a few of your friends about it. Let them know how easy it is to do. Explain to them exactly how it's done. This is another, weekend day, Sunday. Hopefully we can break yesterday's record of calls and callers. Oh, I didn't even tell you the total number. The total number of calls from yesterday was 5,987 calls total. That's a lot of calls. I know we can do even more than that, but still, we reached out to almost 6,000 Republican voters, and they heard the name Peter Schiff. They either heard it in a live conversation or they heard a recorded message on their voicemail. That has got to be making a difference. I'm not sure when the next poll is coming out. I'm sure there'll be one before the primary. Let's make sure that a lot of the people who are polled are getting these calls so my name recognition goes up and so that more people support me. So let's try to break the record today. Let's try to get over 500 people making calls at a minimum. There were 417 yesterday. So at the pace we're growing, we could way shoot past 500. And I'm sure we'll get through 6,000. Maybe we can get 10,000 calls. Maybe that'd be a good goal for today, to at least hit 10,000 calls in a single day, with over 500 people making at least 20 calls per person. Anyway, once again, let me give a shout out to Dr. Frank Danchuri in Arizona. Absolutely fantastic. 651 calls. The man is an animal. He dialed all day long. This is what we need. If we have some more people like that, we can succeed at this. This is an important cause that we're fighting for. You guys are the foot soldiers in this next American Revolution. And it's not like I'm asking you to charge up a hill in a cannon fire. All I'm asking you to do is pick up the phone and make some calls. And I know it's probably a sunny day today, and some of you might be thinking, gee, I want to be outside. I don't want to be on the phone. Well, I'm going to be campaigning all day today myself. I'm up at the Sail Fest. I'd rather be on the beach. I'd rather be out on my boat. But, the country needs us. This is a critical fork in the road to serfdom. I want to make sure we move towards freedom and away from serfdom. I know everybody who's watching this feels the same way. So if we work together, we can succeed. So again, let's be proud of what we accomplished yesterday. 417 people making almost 6,000 calls. But you know what? We can do it because there's a lot more of us out there. We can all do a little bit more. And those of you who haven't started calling yet, we need you. All right? And you will make a difference, because we are making a difference right now. Anyway, one more announcement. Going forward, I'm going to start putting these daily updates and updates about my Senate campaign on the Schiff for Senate YouTube channel. So I will put the link to that YouTube channel on this YouTube. Also, you can get directly there from SchiffForSenate.com. And again, for those of you who are watching this for the first time, if you want to join us in the phone banking, you go to SchiffForSenate.com. I'm putting a link again to the phone banking on this video. It's self-explanatory. There's an 800 number. The dials are free. It costs nothing to call. Also, people have mentioned, can they use their cell phones? You can use your cell phone. It's just it might cost you something if you have to pay for the minutes. I know a lot of you have free weekends, so it shouldn't cost anything. And if you have to pay, what I would suggest, it doesn't cost a lot of money. Change your plan for the next month. Go to unlimited minutes. You can always change it back once the primary is over. It doesn't cost that much, but it'll be well worth it. Remember, the campaign, we're picking up 100% of the cost for any of the long-distance charges. So anyway, thanks again, everybody, for participating, and thanks in advance for those of you who are late starters but who will get started today. Take care.